you know, Kwame Yeboah and a Motimenka and Nay. Na Ashan Broadcasting so and a mason ebuso amuti. Me wojidi se obia ehoye. Na ene ensem kakra bi ena me pese me ne menua no. Yeka ho asem kakra na ye dwendwene ho. Enti video ya me ma sheda aye video bebre to aso. Ma to ebo asepa na ma spend time kakra and ma edit a couple of videos bi e dey ato aso nti bomoden na ehwe emane nkosi. Na the mind is me the videos na aba and I'm the Ghana national anthem so different types so aba beto so nti munya ntobo ase na mo hwe ni nyina ma nsi aya mo nhye na obi so enye bi enye yi aya no subscribe on so na wa clicking like you know because be me hu say at least mo hwe comment so ehun hia pa. Anyway, African leaders and me beka ye hu asem kakra na masan aka oman no so ehun asem kakra say ye the African leaders ni nyina no ye nyina no eti ebekwa agina na ye nyina no yate abom na ye ma Ghana no ya kekere e de esi ho yie e de ma ye ne ye Ghana fo no ye nya entiase ne se akwasi broni ya asase na ewo sa no enema bebre ewo asase de so enti akwasi broni trimupo ni nyina ne se obama ya enkwa ewo ya nkase asase so se de be ya ye neme ewo asase so no obetwe nyina na omatwe enti meyi Akufo-Addo video e de akere mo da one friends French for a president no some kind of interview bi emzo mo kosia. It wasn't an interview, it was more like Akufo-Addo basis no na also visited around the world and as other presidents best run any day. Into anyway, to cut long story short no on the first French president Akufo-Addo ke kan sem bebrebe na me video no ade akere mo na mo ankasa matombo ase na mo tie Akufo-Addo enu mo ensem awkan na utie ensem na utum se ensem a ahye ni mu ache because we ase kan sem to say nipa ne de wo nipa ne mu no ene ba bonten saada ne de na minim se enema opre ema Africa pa no ena obegina wo so wede okeka nsensem ne nti we nye politics we ye friend say ade bia wo se Ghana fo ye dwene ho se adrofo no adie so ache omo be sesa enema nyina akọ wo de fiske we enti nka omo ne ye trade papa in fair ena ko mu ni papa ena obeso mo boa Africa enka omo ne be fair trade number 1 and resources na wo no ko make sure say nka ye be utilize resources na for the betterment of the whole world in Africa. What the emphasis say nyom no be develop your country am I metiasiasa but ma MSS enyema ni nyina set traps emfa mayen say the be ya de bia ne be didi wo wo nsam ne dependent de bia na aid akwese mo etu ene ejan ene ho nkoniaba ene nuclear hwan mo sa ne mani nyina enti ewiase sumuntu mo ba na mo ne president and as leaders no ebe kasa na emema ayama because sometimes no leaders be wono mo dwene man ho because decision be ho no mo a omo take a edu bi a medwene mo sa na nya omuyam nanso so they have to take it men can be my leaders no but mbese mo twem adwene so kosi ba bi so say so utie papa ne nsem an wo kan wo sa on French eyina otu so omedie so ache enti was Africa yankasa yete ho every omunsem ni yankasa edi ho so enti se yesi edi ho so nya independence no ho na de bia celebrate sa no ye nya independence enkenya independence enka nana Akufo-Addo o megina ho no mo enka sa se ye friend say was Africa with no aid from any foreign Africa with no aid a good thing. Say Africa was say a tea and some every home because we are saying as a depend it will be so nipa na de opebia na okan kire de bia de omun sem de de bia ba na omo de fence cross bia de aba ne nyina ne de ana ten say yi leaders no omo hu abrofo na omo panike si leaders no ehu abrofo na omo panike enti adane de odu se na ya komi pa na tesi papa no se ne was worker and okan but in overall no, most of African leaders no omoni afofo ni kasa no mamua na papa be pen asem a me yin video kakra bi e de akere mo sisi no eye friend say Rwanda president so oni afofo ni kasa utu se wa relax pa saa de na ewo yemu no eno kra na ma se Ghana ye ko bola na ye lose eni abrofo ko bola na ye lose no efi se aya na esuru abrofo no ehu abrofo na esuru wo mo na edinti ene ma ne basa de nti ma ne basa ne se abrofo no akwaso muska ena yenya image biso muska ena o die so ne ade enti se enima basa ntu hu ma na usuru mo ba de mpese me kan nyina nse nipa bia nipa hu bro ni amensu no o nipa se wa tigina na mebo evene say Rwanda president na motion the body language no motion the body language no the way I will sit to anybody ni kasa ozu relax and o kasa me ye no kakra na afi de to so no masade eno so e de abramo na kwame yebo a na motime nka no mo nhire na obi so enya bi enti long kakra but I hope say mu betie we ni nyina na mafamu ababi na mede we say so atwato Ghana for yemwa Akufo-Addo yemwa president bi ya de na ba besi bia se mahamo ze Akufo-Addo ye nyina yemwa no oman nyina yemai mo de mo nhwe se ensu ayiri ewo Ghana na nsiyen e pense nrachi ye ensu ayiri wo hono mo a enkran efenipa last 3 years happen here na events access ade tesi a ensu yiri Ghana ban misremu a enema bi a ho bia na wetima ya boa efense Ghana for no munye na momfa enema bi entoto ne kwan because an maybe say esi a obu ha no ni bi na ne ka bi yoko na ka ne nsu asa afa na maka no just nsu na se no na also sa ko repair insurance bia basa enhyana nya yi basa yi papa bia enti the American and say amansan so munya careful mu didi a na mo tutugu ekwan mu ne gata mu ne sa ne ma no munya careful na oman no entimi enko nanim mo hwe papa no the body language no the way bringing busa the question how we sit you on how we answer question no bese mo ye hwe no kakra na me de offense eka ho enso ebeto so e de mamo
to the rest of Africa. What does it say though about you? And we chatted a little bit about this beforehand. So you'll have another 7-year term. And then you also have an opportunity for 2 successive 5-year terms after that. What does that say to the continent about succession for leadership?
Well, I know quite a bit about Mandela. In fact, I was fortunate at different times to associate with him. And what I know also is it is not entirely true that he left because he wanted to have that as a demonstration of how to deal with the power. No, there are other reasons. But my point here is, in fact, in 2002, I'll tell you a story that answers the question to an extent. We were with him in Barcelona. There was former President Bill Clinton. There was the current Secretary General of the UN, Guterres. He was Prime Minister at the time in Portugal, and a number of other leaders, and we had a discussion.
And you know, some motion in body language now, we're relaxed. We're relaxed. Majority of friends young Crawford no omo kotana bro ni ma omo ntimi nya relaxes a ti di bro no be kan bia no aso aboni tirinko no aso rekọ paper no that to no assign it e wo se me ye ni ebe ye ho so e wo se ye ma ye ni ebe ye ho so se ye ni san Crawford e delia enti yenko hwe Akufo-Addo video no nso mu wi a me the Ghana national anthem ato so e de man se nyina entrance ni anwudwene ho e bi se o man no away nyina yentimi internase ma Chinese for emma emesesa emuniema envanko yentimi internase ma abrofo no enkoso emesesa emuniema yeniema emesene enko oma ye saade ache ya hwe ya ombetwe so nwan nyina enyen esu nwan ne kra no ombesan ababeji krono kra saade asata omani anse no masa ma ya yenkwa ewo yanga se krom enti se uyo obi a wodo Ghana wasane mo nyina odwene ho na ye nyina no ye social media no ye use na ye de kasa ye de kansem bi na obia so any eda ho ewo ne bi ho because ye nananom e ka so omo ye bi no na edu ye nso ye so nye bi nto aso no afi na edu ye so nti ye so ye de ato aso nti mu nyina no momfa events montoma emebo me dia no na ye nyina na ye ntu anamon pro Say we a venison asante new, say we nke new, so ye gbe new because abrafo one thing they say Spain, France, any omo nyina no. So mo be share omo ye nipa ba ko. Ombe turn against wo na ye bibini no. Untimi fa onsan kwaka France ni abra English ni wo no ma onka ho asem. So te ase sa eno mutie. Enti se ya fa sa de no anhye ye ho a say your man back. Eye eme nyina ya fa sa de na nhye tinu ye ni prepare. Mum yenko ni enkotie Akufo-Addo. Ne nsem a okan no. Na yenso yensa enwenwene ho kakra. Na yenti national anthem envanto so e kwa meboa ena motimenka na Ashan broadcast ena motimenka ene awie ne kwasie nyame enhira mu nyina.
Longer continue to make policy for ourselves, in our country, in our region, in our continent, on the basis of whatever support the Western world or France or the European Union can give us. It will not work. It has not worked, and it will not work. Our responsibility is to charter a path which is about how we can develop our nations ourselves. It is not right for a country like Ghana, 60 years after independence, to still have its health and education budgets being financed on the basis of the generosity and charity of European taxpayers. By now, we should be able to finance our basic needs ourselves. Our perspective has not to be what the French taxpayer decides to do with whatever surpluses that they have in France. They're welcome. But this continent, with all that has happened, is still today the repository of at least 30% of the most important minerals of the world. It's a continent of vast, arable, and fertile lands. It has the youngest population of any of the continents in the world. So it has the energy and the dynamism. We've seen it. These young men who are showing so much resilience and ingenuity in crossing the Sahara, finding ways to go across with rickety boats across the Mediterranean to really, those energies, we want to have those energies working inside our countries. And we're going to have those energies working in our countries if we begin to build systems that tell the young people of our country that their hopes, their opportunity are right here with us. Migration and the movement of people is being presented in a manner which suggests that somehow it's a new phenomenon. There's nothing new about it. It's as old as man, the movement of people. And it has always been linked to the same thing: the failure of where you are to provide you with an opportunity, so you move somewhere else. Those of you who are familiar with 19th century European history would know that the biggest wave of immigration in 19th century Europe, the latter part of it, came from Ireland and from Italy. Waves upon waves, generations of Italians and the Irish people left their countries to seek the American paradise, largely because Ireland was not working, Italy was not working. Today, you don't hear it. Italian young people are in Italy. Irish young people are in Ireland. We want young Africans to stay in Africa. And how are they? And it means that we have to get away from this mindset of dependence, this mindset about what can France do for us. France will do whatever it needs to do for its own sake. And when those coincide with ours, tant mieux, as the French people say. But our main responsibility as leaders, as citizens, is what we need to do to grow our own countries. Our concern should be with what do we need to do in this 21st century to move Africa away from being cap in hand and begging for aid, for charity, for handouts. The African continent, when you look at its resources, should be giving monies to other places. We have huge wealth on this continent. And I say so with the greatest of respect to the French president. I think that the cooperation of France is something that I am, as you know, a strong friend of France. I am Francophile. So I don't have any difficulty with that. But I'm talking about our own propulsion, what we need to do to get our countries to work so that we can create the conditions that would allow our young people to forego this hazardous effort to get to Europe. They're not going there because they want to. They're going there because they don't believe they have any opportunities in our countries. So that should be our focus. And I believe that with that if we change that mindset of dependence, that mindset which is contingent on aid and charity, we would see that in the decades ahead of us, the full flowering of the African peoples would take place. And that new African personality that was talked about at the time of our independence will become real and imminent in our times. That's what I'm saying. I hope that I'm not upsetting the questioner or even some of my friends who are here. But these are my strongly held beliefs. And that is the reason why I've adopted as the slogan of my presidency, of my period of the Supreme Office of Ghana, that we want to build a Ghana beyond aid, a Ghana which is independent, which is self-sufficient, that is capable of standing on its own feet and building its own life. We can do it.
We thank God for the freedom of this land. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Freedom and justice on this land. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever their cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist the oppressor's rule with all our will and mind forevermore. Oh Lord, and help us to resist the oppressor's rule with all our will and mind forevermore. Ha! The Lord is faithful to this country. The Lord is faithful to this land. Freedom and justice. In 1957 we won our independence. Thank you, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and all the others who helped for this faith. Oh Lord, hear this. Say, God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Oh, bold to defend forever their cause of freedom and of right. Oh Lord, fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, yeah, and help us to resist the oppressor's rule with all our will and mind forevermore. Oh Lord mercy, and help us to resist the oppressor's rule with all our will and mind forevermore. We say, Amano Serio, Amano Serio, Ensem da Jose, Aman Fubra Natural, Amano Serio, Amano Serio, Ensem da Jose, Aman Fubra Natural. oh Lord, freedom and justice on this land. Amano Serio, Serio, Assassini, airport in my eye, Mojana, Nana, Shegu, Nadi to my eye. Edumene was so, say a bay, Piazza so, Nindian Twasso, go to Crania, Bessamin coming out. Eddie ain't Bremo, the Mamaya, Sassy food or what to say. Oh, my no, oh, my no. Yes, and I said, oh, my full private jet. Oh, my no. Yes, and I said,
yeah, we go. Okay, this is my motherland, made in Ghana tiny. Anything I go talk, bring it to tiny. Boy, what could one near hey, Bonnie done a fay. Many may feel he can tea and many won't pay. Malabahi can you find the Bajamin Cabo? What you local ninja lava where me capable. I promise on my own, I'm over Taya and Shona. Ling off the Vina Sana, Libukuna no Shona.
Yawaena, Jumanchi Afiko May, Kowan Kabila Capito, Zaire Kai, Banda Bumbanchi, Mudena Zwalumchi, Ubangijing Allah Wayma, Jumanchi Afiko May, Anna Muhammad Wayma, Jumanchi Afiko May, I am Wayma, Jumanchi Afiko
See, this is not a peace song, it's a love song. Peace and Ghana getting married, keep the love strong. See, a peace we cannot risk. War at home is like cardiac arrest, cause home is where the heart is. Let the trumpets sound victory. The battle that we won is the battle for a peace. We promise on an honor that we'll never fight again, cause Ghana is a happy place, a joy we should defend.
Get up, what's up, motherland? I did feel like Obidi and Afia. I'm in love with you now. Tamajiba Majihada Mabiata was a young will a doji love for fun. Chale how? From the big six, you still to fix things. Mawa Hamakafu was Chicago will reach us.
If you don't want make it be, nobody for fight, we don't need one of peace. And come boom, is it with if we to protect the nation, Mother God and anyone I save it. Oh yeah.
About the peace, hey, about our summer day, about the peace, hey, I wanna know. Now, summer day, walk, hey, but from a wabo, what has some chon 1 and many bay use on killing you if you are. Which as if you won't pay for a month who are when you did your cocoto. A lady be okay, palace, a lady more okay, ballet, a lepis you call okay, ballet. I'm out with you. It's all about a peace. Hey, Baloba.
Phones in a doom, stores out to doom, police say you foom, and we say soon. Tupaye papa, depending on how Mwashakuma Muma, Memina Danima, Fabu Domina, what the rest of them, Musimujania, Sema Photo Gem, over BBC.
Ghana, it's no more.
Picture free me, you no war.
So that the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons and daughters of God. Hey, we pray for love, we pray for peace, we pray for unity always. To make our nation better. Oh, to make our nation better. Bring peace to our land. Nation better. Peace to our land. Nation better. You know we're gonna do it again.